Hey guys, for this week's discussion, I decided to do the problem on cyberbullying, and so just kind of like to give you an overview. A group of ninth grade female students threatened another student through a series of cyberbullying communications. The victim was also portrayed as a person who was having multiple affairs with student athletes. The mother of one of the student athletes was aware of this but failed to act. The victim attempted suicide but was found by her mother and rushed to the hospital. So some of the discussion questions that were asked, the first one was, because these incidents occurred off campus, can the principal intervene in the situation? Basically, I said one of the main priorities of being a principal is to ensure and maintain a safe learning environment for students and staff. I felt that since the bullying occurred between multiple students over incidents that happened at the school, and the fact that the result ended up in a student trying to take their life, that the principal could definitely be involved. Bullying and cyberbullying are definitely serious offenses, especially if suicide is the end result. Depending on the school or the district's policies toward bullying, the principal does have jurisdiction over this situation. I basically talked about how schools and the school district should develop a zero tolerance policy toward bullying behavior, including cyberbullying, and communicate this policy to students and parents so that all involved are understanding of the problem. And that was talked about on page 110 about bullying. I also believe that since these problems overlapped into school time, because apparently she was having an affair with other athletes, and just in general it involved other students at the school, that the principal should have been notified of what was happening or taking place. The second question was it significant that one parent was aware but failed to act? I think it is definitely significant because cyberbullying, like any other form, I said earlier, should be taken super seriously. The fact that one parent was aware of a situation that could potentially harm a student emotionally, physically, or mentally, the parent should be held accountable. In fact, failure to take action to notify school officials of certain situations that could be dangerous to the student constitutes as negligence. So I feel that if the student had actually been successful in taking her own life, that the parent could also be somehow charged with that because she knew of the incident that was happening but failed to report it. As far as the students being disciplined for their behavior, depending on school's policy, the student involved could be disciplined not only through the school but also through law enforcement officials. Zero tolerance policies definitely involve bullying, and they could meet consequences through the school. And then two acts that were mentioned in this chapter, the Megan Myers Cyberbullying Prevention Act, states that communication threatening to coerce, intimidate, harass, or cause substantial emotional distress to another person using electronics means to support severe, repeated, and hostile behavior can be met with criminal penalties. And again, bullying should be taken seriously, especially if a life is in danger. And the Megan Meyer Act was found on page 112 of our book. Should the school simply allow the victim's parents to handle this situation through Leo? Depending on the bullying, I really think that the school and law enforcement officials should be involved. Like I said, the Megan Myers Cyberbullying Prevention Act could mean that there were criminal penalties due to the cyberbullying, and then the Jeffrey Johnson Stand Up for All Students Act really completes the process because it makes sure that everyone involved gets the help or gets involved when needed. So this act not only helps the victim, but bullies must be referred to counseling and the proper authorities. There's an outline of consequences of those who violate the policy for bullying, and then at the end everything needs to be notified to the parents for regarding what's been done to protect their children. But in the end, it really is up to the parents. If the parents choose to strictly go through local enforcement or law enforcement officials, then we can't really stop them. as a parent, they make their own decisions about their child's safety and welfare. So in the end, if that's what they think is the best for their child, then that's what they're going to do. As far as a solution to the problem, I think that involving teachers, parents, communities, and students in the formulation of rules and regulations on bullying and zero tolerance policies would be one of the first steps. By involving everyone, there would be less doubt about what constitutes as bullying and how it should be handled, so further situations can be handled more quickly and appropriately. I also think that the Jeffrey Johnson Stand Up for All Students Act should be reviewed and used because it requires all school districts to institute anti-bullying policies that specifically ban harassment and intimidation. All right, guys. Have a good one.